guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am basically going to give it to you guys raw and real. I'm going to talk about 10 things that they don't tell you about being a stay-at-home mom. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe. The button is down below, and like the video if you like it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on to the 10 things. So I'm forewarning you guys, everybody's experience is different, but what I can tell you after receiving thousands of emails, comments, DMs from moms who've watched my channel from the very beginning of when I had my first baby, Annabelle, they all pretty much have the same general theme. So if this is not your experience, I can at least make this video and know that my experience that I'm about to share with you guys matches so many other women's experience that watch my channel. So if you guys agree with any of the stuff I'm telling you, leave a comment below and share some support, because it's nice to know that all of us are kind of going through it together. And a lot of these things people don't talk about. Women don't talk about. Their lives look perfect. They look like they get ready every day like this, even though normally they look like hot messes with sweats and greasy hair. So the first thing that no one told me before I became a stay-at-home mom is that it's harder mentally than it is physically. When you go from not having to worry about a living, breathing human being and just worrying about yourself to completely giving over your body, your mind, your soul to this baby, like for the rest of your life, it is so daunting. And I think in the very beginning of infancy, everything is pure bliss and it's so easy. They sleep all the time. You can, scroll on your phone. You can like interact with the outside world. Your baby will sleep like in between watching a movie, or you can take a shower. Well, when they get a little bit bigger, I'd say around like 4 to 6 months old, I realized that my life like truly was dedicated to this human being, and it almost kind of felt like there was no time for me in the day. And this happened with my first baby, and it was just like such a whirlwind. I completely agree that going from 0 to 1 baby will be harder for me than going from 1 to 2. We'll see, because I am currently pregnant if you're new to my channel, but we'll see if that is the case. The second thing that no one told me is that just when you think you have a schedule down and your baby is like kind of cooperating with you and adhering to like a certain schedule throughout the day of naps and feeds and playtime, everything completely changes. And that is why for my second pregnancy, I'm really gonna go into it with 0 expectations, because I swear it was almost every month Annabelle would have a different sleep pattern and a different eating pattern, and she would want more food, then she would want less food, and it is just a crazy time. It is still similar to when you have a toddler. I have a toddler now, and she still changes her schedule. For the most part, I mean, she'll sleep through the night continuously because she's bigger now, but since she's getting molars and she's just like having growth spurts, she'll be super fussy like in the store one day, the next day she'll be an angel, and then one day she will love broccoli and all the vegetables, the next day she'll hate it. So I mean, you really just got to go with the flow. The third thing that I wanted to talk about that you don't realize is that resentment can really hit you hard when you first become a stay-at-home mom. This is like a touchy subject. I feel like this probably can't be for everybody, but for a lot of moms that are first-time moms especially, or second or third, I don't even think it matters. When you feel overloaded with like responsibilities of tending to a child and the house and bills and just like your own self, not having any time for yourself, I think it can be hard. The first year of my baby's life, my husband went to work every day. He drove there, I packed his lunch. It was like a regular 8 to 5 thing. So when he would go to work, he got to sit by himself, work on his computer, accomplish all his tasks. His boss would pat him on the back and say, "Good job, you either got a raise today or you did a really good job here." He'd get like reinforcement that he was doing good at his job. He got to eat lunches by himself. He got to look presentable for the day, take a shower, take his time, shaving his beard, I don't know, whatever he does in the morning. He'd come home, there'd be dinner on the table, but what fulfills a woman or just a person in general is that getting like just the satisfaction from your job and positive reinforcement that you're doing a good job is so crucial to like a healthy mind. So when you're a mom, like I feel like a lot of times people don't thank you enough for like the support that you give your children, because they think, well, you have to support your children. You're the one that popped the baby out. you know, you shouldn't need a pat on the back for that. But I think sometimes when your spouse goes to work, you can, I don't know, you can resent the fact that they get a lot of alone time to do things that they want to do to make them feel like accomplished, because wiping butts all day and feeding your baby, walking them around the block with a stroller, going to the grocery store, managing the baby while you're cooking lunch, breakfast, and dinner, it is a lot, and no one tells you good job. So when your husband or your spouse or your friends or whoever it may be, your mother-in-law, your mother, when they just act like this is your job and you have to just suck it up, it's really hard because no one is there to say that you're doing a good job, and your baby doesn't talk to you, so it can feel very isolating. So the point to this really raw note is that resentment can be an evil thing, and if you don't have it under control and realize that no one is in your particular situation, you need to get mom friends that understand you, and that's literally the only tip that I have to overcome that. But once I started connecting with other women that felt the same way as me, I didn't feel as alone and isolated, and you start communicating with your husband that you really need that positive reinforcement because they're not used to it either if they're first-time dads, then I think it definitely gets a lot better. The other thing that no one told me is that your child will most likely be more attached to you if you're a stay-at-home mom than if they go to daycare, and I honestly think that is fine. I thought for a long time, because people would always tell me that my child would always be attached to my hip, she'd never want to go play with other children, she'd be an introvert because I was a stay-at-home mom with her. I got that a lot, that she just needed to interact a lot with other people and maybe get a babysitter or daycare. And that is just so far from the truth. My child was definitely more attached to me for the first 12 months of her life, which I think is to be expected. But besides that, she has no problem being dropped off at a friend's house for a play date. And I think being with her honestly like reinforced her self-esteem. That's my theory on it. But there's nothing wrong if your baby goes to daycare. I don't know what my next baby, like I don't know what our situation is going to be for that. The next thing that no one told me is that you really have to find self-worth in something other than your child. So for me, that came really easy, but it was also very frustrating because the number one thing that I take self-worth in is my career on YouTube. And when you have a child, everything is put on the back burner if you suddenly become a stay-at-home mom after never being at home. The one thing that you really have to make time for is yourself. So whether that's running or like writing or reading, or even if you want to get a part-time job, there is nothing wrong with taking time for yourself. And that is one thing I have like discovered since becoming a stay-at-home mom. A lot of the days are, I mean actually all of the days are dedicated to your child. So hiring someone as a babysitter or asking someone like a friend or a parent to watch your child, even if you want to just clean your house by yourself, like whatever makes you feel good, it is necessary for your mental state. Like it's not even just something that you feel good about or something that you want to do as a plus to yourself. I think it's completely necessary to have something outside of your child. And that doesn't mean like have a job. You can just want to go get your nails done on a Saturday or something. So making time for yourself is definitely a priority, and I think it just keeps you sane. The next thing no one told me is that I basically need to throw out all of my expectations with parenting out the window right when my baby was born, because you like watch movies your whole life, you see other people with their child, but it is not a true depiction of what it means to stay at home with your child 24/7. I think there is a misunderstood notion that it is just so easy and that stay-at-home moms have it really easy. They just sit around eating bonbons and like not doing anything, but truly it is the hardest job I've ever had. And yeah, you have a lot of expectations when you have a child, at least I think I did. Just knowing that not everything is just like the movies or like how you see other families in public is definitely going to be to your advantage, so you don't go crazy. There are days where you're going to feel sad, you might feel isolated or alone when you see your friends going off to a regular 8 to 5 and they get to hang out with coworkers or peers. It can be isolating when you become a stay-at-home mom, especially in the beginning, because you probably don't have a lot of stay-at-home mom friends, a few maybe if you're lucky, if you are a younger mom. So that's why I think it's really critical, at least it was for me, like for my mental state, to get mom friends that were in person rather than just over like the internet, because getting to like just talk about your everyday experiences and just share stories of your newfound profession, because it is seriously a profession. Like being a stay-at-home mom requires a lot of skills like multitasking, patience, and organization, and sharing all of those skills like with your friends, comparing notes, will be such a big blessing in your life. The next thing I didn't know is going anywhere alone is a magical experience, even if that means the bathroom. And going to the grocery store alone is just like so peaceful, and having time to yourself to like actually use your brain and not be scattered about what you're buying. The second to last thing I did not know about being a stay-at-home mom is that you basically have 0 moments to yourself. I mean, I say 0, and I know kids take naps, babies nap, toddlers nap. You also get time when your child is asleep at night. But if you're anything like me, during those moments, I am working. I'm either scrambling to clean the house, or I am on my laptop answering emails, and it's just very difficult to have a true moment to where I just want to scroll on Instagram, or even if I just want to have a cup of coffee that's hot and sit on my couch. Like, it's few and far between. I know moms just beat a dead horse with this, but it is an underappreciated job. When I was single and I didn't have kids, I honestly could not tell you like what I thought they did back then. It looked like such a chill job. Like, it looked way easier than waking up at 6 a.m., getting ready for the day, going to work, sitting in rush hour traffic, and coming home, which granted, both jobs are very hard, and when you combine the two, it is very hard. If you are a working mom, that is insane. And if you're a single mom, you are a unicorn, super goddess mom, like for reals. So yeah, that is basically it for my raw and real things they don't tell you about being a stay-at-home mom. If you guys like these kinds of videos, press the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.